So I feel like every skater has had this experience where you go to the skate park and you see some old dude in his like 40s or 50s, like fully padded up, just like ripping around the bowl. And I don't know if this happens to you, but I always think to myself, at some point when like my legs aren't strong enough anymore to do this ledge stuff and do street skating, I need to like learn how to slash and learn how to skate transition, because those guys can keep skating until they're 40 or 50. I feel like my time on planet street skating is like kind of like limited. So with that in mind, I wanted to talk to Leo. He's a local at the skate park. He skates transition. He used to skate street but kind of made the switch. And I think one of like the steeziest tricks on transition, at least for like beginners, is back disasters. If you got like a good back disaster, I don't know, that trick just looks really flowy and really satisfying every time. So I wanted to get Leo to kind of explain an entry-level transition trick for those of us that are maybe not so familiar with doing like lip tricks on transition. Quick shout out to Wind Kick. They sent over some dunks. Leo and I are the same size, so I was able to hook them up. I'm sure Leo would have done the video for, for free just to be nice, but wanted to give him some shoes. So thank you, Wind Kick. And yeah, let's talk about some back disasters.
I feel like back disaster is very easy once you figure it out. I mean, for me, I started learning like kind of like just back reverts on flat. With back disasters, I think just learning how to back revert, right? And then, so I'm gonna do one over the coping. Like over the coping. And then you're gonna do that same thing but under the coping, like halfway up the ramp. And just, you wanna do it slow. I feel like everyone tries to do back disasters so quick that it's sometimes the board just gives out. Like the biggest thing is like people over rotate.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to fakie and their body's like this.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to bring the board back in. So I feel like if you do just a slow revert and keep your shoulders kind of, aligned.
Where do you throw your shoulders? Like, do you throw your shoulder, or like do you throw your hands like across the coping? Like,
yeah.
where?
So I throw my shoulders out, and then once my board comes to this fully 180, I stop my shoulder. I stop like rotating.
Okay.
Right. So once your board kind of does that full back 180, your board can keep turning, but as long as your body stays like straight, you'll be fine.
I feel like I've noticed when you do it, it's almost like you throw your arms and shoulders like you're going to spin 180, but then it's almost like you throw your arms back again.
Yeah, so I throw it and then I kind of stop myself. So let's see if I can.
One day you told me something about like the foot position that really helped.
So,
tell me about that.
So when I first started learning them, my foot would be like back here because I didn't know where to have it, and I didn't know that you have to basically unlock it, right? Mm-hmm. So I started moving my foot a little bit, like I started moving it right here, like right on the bolts. And when you do the back revert, it kind of shoots your front foot a little bit closer up to the nose, so you don't have to move it while you're up there. Because I think the biggest thing is people are trying to position their foot while they're up there.
Yeah.
And I think if your foot's already there, it's like less things to do, all you have to do is kind of pull it in.
Yeah.
So it's like it stops messing with that whole, losing your balance while you're up there.
I've seen people even recommend like, I want to get your thoughts on this. Basically like just going up like from this side and basically just practicing like
rolling in. Like
yeah.
That. Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
I mean, yeah, because then you kind of learn how to do it. The only thing is it's got to be quick, and I feel like the more you do it, the more like muscle memory, I guess, you'll get to it, The biggest thing, if you do it fast, it's less likely to lose your balance, like if you're on and off quickly. So I feel like for me, when I was doing back disasters, I would try not to, when I would get into it, I would try not to like fix myself up. I would get into it and go back in easy and fix myself as I was going down the ramp, instead at the top. Because then you start losing your balance. If you start moving around your board, you start losing your balance.
Yeah, and it looks bad. I feel like a lot of people almost like learn back disasters and then they do them the way where like their foot is like behind the bolts. Yeah. And then they get up on there and then they're like fixing, because that's how I do them like half the time, and it just looks bad. And
if your foot's already set up, if your foot's like up here, it's like it's a lot easier trying to just put a little weight. You just need literally a little weight.
Yeah.
You don't need that much, just enough to like, so you don't have all your weight on that back, you know, on the
Foot.
back, and you hang up. Yeah. Because most people are, they're gonna when they go in, it's like they have no weight. And it's like what happens is you try to go in. I mean, this you'll probably be forgiven, but on something with more coping, your board's gonna stay, and you're just gonna fly down.
Yeah.
But
Is there any other like key tips to it? Like, I feel like the thing that you told me about shifting the foot to basically cover the bolts was like that helped a lot. Is there anything else that you think that is like a kind of big key to it?
I think that is the biggest key for me, because I was like, that's what helped me. Like I was like, oh, once I did that, like I was doing them, I would have my foot, and like you were saying, I would move my foot up.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I would move my foot up once I was already on top of the transition.
Yeah.
And that's what was like messing me up every time. Yeah, I tried it a couple times, and it made it a lot easier. And then just repetitive. I mean, that's all skating is, right? Just, you pull up to the park, do the same tricks. I pull up to the park and do the same trick that I was working on the day before until I get it like 5 times.
Yeah.
Or until I just can't do it.
Yeah.
You know? And over time, everything just becomes a lot easier. It's one of those things. The reason I like back disaster is because it's one of those tricks where it's like you don't really have to be warmed up.
Yeah.
Like you kind of can just do a back reaver and be fine.
Yeah.
And that's why I prefer transition sometimes over street, because I don't really have to be warmed up. And if everyone has those days where you don't feel like really skating, you know, and it's still fun to come in and just kind of goof around, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, have your foot up on top of the bolts, shoulders kind of aligned, and you should have it.
Let me know in the comments below what you think was the most helpful tip for you in learning back disasters. Was there anything that Leo said that you feel is like the biggest key to learning this trick? Leave it in the comments below so other people can know kind of like what to focus on moving into learning this trick and just learning transition tricks in general. So thank you guys for watching another one of my videos. Remember to make every single day a Friday, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.